What do you put that second half turnaround down to?
Look, we didn't do what you need to do at this level. It's kind of non-negotiable. We just weren't competitive. You know, we didn't win our duels. We lacked intensity. We kind of, you know, didn't deliver the things you need to at this level as the basics of the game, and we paid a price for it.
Where do you think that comes from? Was there an element of complacency?
Not really sure, but wherever it comes from, it doesn't really matter. It's irrelevant. It's unacceptable. At the end of the day, you've got to, like I said, you kind of understand that you know, you're not going to win every game, but there are manners in which you lose games, and you know, that's the first time since I've been here anyway that we've lost the game in that manner, and like I said, unacceptable.
What can you do about it going forward?
There's a lot I can do about it. That's why I'm in the role. If I couldn't do anything about it, I'd get somebody else to sit here.
Jack.
And given how much the team has improved defensively this season before today, does it hurt even more to see concede the goals we've had?
All of it's disappointing. Like I said, you know, there are certain elements of this team that have been pretty consistent throughout my tenure, and that is one. You know, we even in our sort of not so good days, we've always kind of fought and been competitive. I think that's been a sort of non-negotiable, and you know, like I said, today's the first day I actually felt like we didn't deliver in those areas. So whether that's defensively, whether that's with the ball, but like I said, it's sports as much about competition as it is anything else. And if you don't compete and you allow the opponent to, you know, overrun you in that manner, then you know you're not going to get anything out of it.
Did you have any sense at half time this was about to happen?
Well, like I said, I haven't seen it before, and I certainly didn't feel like that's the way the game was going to go. You understand that at 2-0, obviously they're going to come out and be, you know, fairly aggressive in their approach. But that's not the first time we've faced that, and we've usually dealt with it pretty well. But it just, yeah, obviously today we failed to do the things we needed to do.
George.
And was there a temptation to make something before the second or third goals? It felt like Brighton were kind of building ahead of steam.
Yeah, I could have, but all these things, you know, are totally irrelevant to me. You know, substitutions and all those kind of things. If you're not competitive, it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to get rewards. You don't deserve to win. So we didn't deserve on our second half performance, irrespective of subs or anything else, to get something out of the game. And I think if you do get something out of the game, then you're falsely rewarded, and I don't want to get falsely rewarded.
I know you're not going to want to make excuses, but it felt like you missed Saunders and Charlison took 2 battles.
Nah. Got nothing to do with it. Absolutely zero to do with it. If we were missing them, then we wouldn't have played like we did in the first half, or we have the last few games. So it's got nothing to do with it. Like I said, there's a certain level of competitiveness you need to bring in every contest, irrespective of the level, and we didn't do that in the second 45, and rightly so. We got punished for it.
Matt.
Andrew, I was going to ask, the chance that Brennan had at the end of the first half, did you feel if that had gone in, that had been that?
Look, potentially, mate. I mean, I think we probably should have put the game to bed in the first half. We certainly had the dominance and the chances, but if that just masked what I saw in the second half, then it doesn't sort of. I mean, I think that certain things will always reveal themselves over the course of time, and I've got to deal with what happened in the second half. That's much more important to me than, you know, the fact that in the first half we were that dominant, and we probably, you know, we should have had the game done and dusted by then.
Have you learned something new about your team then?
I don't know if I learnt something new, but I certainly experienced something new, which, you know, with all these things, straight after a game you're emotional about it, but like I said, that's probably the most disappointing loss I've had since I've been here, in terms of, you know, the way we went about it, and it's something I need to assess.
Dave.
I guess what totally amuses people. It just was so good in the first half. And you know, just as a neutral watching, that looked like a really terrific first half performance. So the contrast is what was amusing from my perspective.
Yeah, but like I said, that's a real sort of stark reminder of what elite sport's about. That at the core of it is it's competitive, and if you're not competitive, doesn't matter how good you are or how good you think you are, you're going to trip up, you know. And we didn't do the things that, you know, aside from the football, we didn't do the things that we've kind of prided ourselves on to get to the position we're in.
It's unprecedented to hear you talk like this about the team. Have you sort of said this to them in the dressing room? How do you deal with that in the moment?
Yeah, no, like my feedback's always, you know, what I believe. I don't hide things, and you know, I'm sure that the players are disappointed, but I don't really care about that. They should be disappointed. The supporters would be disappointed. I'm disappointed, but I want them to understand disappointment is not about losing a game of football, because that happens. The disappointment comes from us not doing, you know, the very basics of what's expected when you're, you know, at the highest level from a competitive standpoint.
Final one at the back, please.
And you said it's kind of about not being as good as you think you are. Does that kind of suggest after a couple of positive results and playing so well in that first half that it was maybe overconfidence from the players?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's not a couple of positive results, you know, it was 5 wins. I mean, like, let's just keep things in perspective here, and I understand the extremes of what we do. What I'm saying is that we didn't do the basics of everything we've done to get to this point, good, bad or otherwise. So even, you know, when we didn't win at Newcastle, but we played well and we fought hard to the last second to try and win that game of football. We didn't do that today. And every time we've played, that's been an element of our game where I felt that was in. I didn't see that today. So why has that happened? The reasons, well, we can go into a million, you know, and sort of aspects of it, and in the cold light of day, there may be some logic to it, and may even be what you're saying. Again, for me, that's irrelevant. It's for me to address and fix. The responsibility falls at my feet, and that's what I need to do.